Hi guys, welcome back to my creative cave. In my crazy little world, every cave has a collection of trinkets, and my creative cave is no exception to that. And so I have decided to catalog my collection in this journal. This journal I've made in my Eyelet kind of style of making journals. I have tutorials on this particular kind of journaling, but for now, let's move on with today's tutorial. I'm going to be doing a globe pop-up, and to do that I have to make a template to my wires that are gonna be holding up the dome. And once I figure out the size of my circle that I want to do and cut out my wires that go to the dome, I go and go get a coffee filter that I have already pre dyed with coffee stain, sorry, and then I shape my paper. I just use my hands and I go over and over. I want to make sure that my paper picks up the shape of the dome on the dome. um yes, and so once it's I see that it's pretty much shaped, I go ahead and I start attaching the wires. I figure if I start with the middle one, then I can kind of measure the other ones, or divide the other ones in equal parts, the other four pieces. One thing that wasn't recorded for some reason is that every wire has a hook at the end of it. This will allow me to hook the little wires right onto the signature um, binder, or the signature holder of that holds the signature right onto my junk journal. Instead of stitching them, I use a wire, and like I said, you guys can see how I make this junk journal, and the signatures of them on a video. I will link it down below, and also try to do one of those index cards as I'm talking now, so you guys can see it. It's really fun, and it allows me to have a lot of more accessibility to different kinds of journaling. I've done like this kind of wiring on my botanical journal, which is also on a video, where I do a trellis and I put a plant on it, and it's really fun. It's really fun to have that capability of doing on your junk journals. Anywho, moving on. Um, Once I have all the wires attached to my dome, I then attach them onto my journal. And this is the part what I was telling you guys. You just hook the wires right onto the signature holder, or the signature wire that's holding the signature on the journal. I know I'm saying signature a lot, but you guys know what I mean. So for me to do the folds on the dome or globe, I I decide to do like a watermark, sort of like a scoring, but with water, so that I can fold it without losing so much of the shape of it. So I weaken the part where I want to fold it, so that the folding is a lot smoother when it comes to shaping the dome. I don't want to lose that doming part of it. And I let it dry. I let it sit a while, and then I go back and attach the ends straight to the pages. Um, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this or not, but I want that effect of when I open the pages, the dome or the globe sticks right at you. And so I decided I have to um, glue the ends of the domes on the pages. It's quite simple. I double glue it in a way where I put masking tape and glue on the little edge, and I just fold it down. And I let it dry overnight in this case. Once I have my dome secured and ready to go, I go back to my coffee filters. These green ones and blue ones that you guys see here, I double dip them. There's also a video on that, on how do you double dip coffee paper. I did it mostly for flowers, but I had these beauties here that I didn't want to use for flowers, and I want to keep them for a special occasion, and today's one of them. So I use this green one as the world part, and instead of using scissors to cut it, I use the same method. I water the shape of the continents, or the world, half of the world, and I tear it. I don't want the straight lines. of a world. I don't want the scissor lines, and I just figured it'd be fun to shape it this way rather than with scissors. So once I wet it, I usually go back with it with a brush, with a wetting brush twice, and then it's just a simple matter of fact of gluing it on the dome. I make sure that I put a lot of glue right on the edges because since it's a moving part, you don't want your paper to be coming apart and coming off. So I make sure I glue it really well. And for the second part, I do the same thing. I wanted to make sure I had both sides of the world on the same dome. It's probably not accurate. It's actually far from accurate, but it's just the idea of having a globe or a dome. Well, I don't know why I'm saying it dome, but it's a globe. This journal is to it's to catalog all my collections, and one of my collections are globes. And this in this page, I decided to start in this journal. I decided to do the globes as my first collection and journaling. And so once it's glued, I decided I wanted to put some blue as the water. So um, and not a lot. It's just mostly water that I used on my tray with a little bit of blue. I just want the hint of blue, and to actually accentuate that it's a globe. I mean, yeah, that it's a globe. And so I wanted just a little hint of blue. And once I'm done with the blue, I go back and I go with the white. This one I don't water it down. I kind of just dry brush it on the ends to do the north and south pole of the world. And I don't know. I didn't do no particular shape of them. I just kind of brushed them down as it looked good, because not only am I cataloging my world, but I'm also, making trying to make some kind of art and trying to look pretty. So it's I already know it's not accurate, so I'm not striving for that. I'm just striving for the look of a world, and I know that it has a north and a south pole, so I just did that. And then I go back with a very light green to give it even more depth of that. And I have a capability of printing on canvas, and this printer allows me to print on canvas. And I printed my collection of globes, or some of them, and I cut them out and I put them at the bottom of the page. I wanted my page to look like a vintage, sort of like a old world kind of feel. So I grabbed some soft gel medium matte, and I also grabbed some acrylic paint, and I made sort of like gesso, old gesso feel to my paper, and I went on top of my canvas print that I did there, and I also did it all over my paper. I decided then to put some blue on my paper. I grabbed the stencil and I go over it with acrylic paint, but I didn't like the look of it. I wanted to have some blues on the paper, but it didn't look too good on me. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it, so I instead of me cutting it off the video, I'm showing it to you guys. So don't shame me, please. But because I had that gel on the paper, it was easy for me to wipe it off, and some of it stayed, which I was okay with it. It was kind of like maybe what I wanted, so I was happy with the results after I took it off. Then I grabbed some Sharpie and I made a border, and just to center my anchor even more, the center focal point of my paper, I decided I wanted to put the longitude and latitude of the city where I'm from. I'm from San Diego, and I wanted to kind of like introduce that on this globe page that I'm doing. And I think this was the latitude, and on the other side of my paper I did the longitude. And I mean, they're not really visible. I just wanted to put some numbers, old world kind of feel on my paper, and I thought this would be fun. I also grabbed this Tim Holtz stamp with numbers because I wanted to put more numbers on there. And I just kind of like dabbed it on with my same brown stain ink that I did my numbers with, just as a background. Now onto the fun part, the ephemera. I have this stamp that I got many years ago that has like this like label holders, and I use that a lot. I don't know if you guys seen in my different videos, but I used one in this video, and I don't know the title of this page yet. I like to title my pages, and I don't know yet. So for now, I'm gonna leave it blank. But that's my little title holder thing, and to that, I'm gonna attach this other one, 2 for $5, just because I figured maybe like glows back then were like, I don't know, 2 for $5. Anywho, so I have the first picture of my latest addition to my collection, and I wanted to put it here. That's when I decided I wanted to start like cataloging um, my collections with these pictures, because I feel like you're adding to your collection, and I want to add on that when I got them, and these were actually a gift from my husband, so he thinks I'm crazy, but yet he supports my collection. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But so I took a picture of them when I got them, and this is it. I just printed it on paper. I mean on paper, and I put it here. And on the other side, I'm gonna also do some ephemera, but I'm gonna leave some room for more pictures for the future, because I'm gonna add more globes. I want to add really big ones, and maybe even some little tiny ones. I don't know yet where this craziness is going to take me, but for now I'm just gonna leave the space there. To attach my picture and the little ticket ephemera behind it, I use regular masking tape. I distress it with coffee water and a little bit of black paint. I um I just use it. I like that before the tape was not clear. So, I think it was actually the first tape, I think it was like fabric. So I that's why I'm using masking tape, because it has that look as if it was like fabric. So I decided to do that, and I to bring out all my elements, or ephemeras. I don't know what people would call them. I decided to do that with the same coffee water in black to go around my edges. So sort of like a shadow or shade. No, it's not shade, it's shadow. Sort of like the shadow of my elements. And on the other side, I wanted to put a compass. So I'm doing it kind of like a 3D. I'm grabbing that Tim Holtz stamp of a compass, and I do the star in red ink. Um, and then once I cut it out, I can glue it onto the back of it. And for the back of it, I just grab some text, little piece of paper I had left over. I put my coffee stain on it, and then I stamp it with regular black ink. I think now that I look back, maybe I should have used the brown ink, but hey. So once I have that, I put a little bit of foam in the back of it, and I attach it to that piece of paper. So I was almost forgetting about it, but then I realized something's missing, and I remember that every globe has a little compass. So there was no space on the actual globe, so I decided to put it on the side. Um, I don't know. Let me know if you guys think I should have kind of like stamped it on the paper and then put it on the. I don't know. I think maybe I should have tried to attach it on the globe itself, but so I decided to put it here, and I stapled it on. I hope you guys liked today's tutorial. If you guys did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel grow. It helps let other people know that I'm here, and I would really appreciate it if you guys also consider subscribing. In my cave, like in any cave, there's always a creature running around. Here is my second stump. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.